Okay, so in order to really understand, trickle down effects, and aggregate multiplier effects, it's really important that we sort of take a step back for a second and really understand sort of the aggregate function that leads to all of this. Okay, so for that reason, we're going to be looking at something called the Keynesian cross. Now, you may not have heard of this before, um, but there's no need to sort of worry about it because all it is really is it is just a different version of aggregate demand. Okay, that's all it is. It's just a slightly different take on aggregate demand. So let's be more specific. When we set up the Keynesian cross, we start off with a planned expenditure function. Okay, now just to be clear, this is all going to link back to the question. This will all link back to the question. What we're really going to do in this session today is we are deriving a mathematical, expression for the multiplier effect, right? So what we do is we start off with this. We start off with nothing else other than the planned expenditure function. Now, I just want to be clear on a couple of things. This is a closed economy, right? So closed economy means that, you know, um, there is no sort of external country that trades. In other words, the current account does not exist. There are no trades and there are no imports or exports. Okay. So all it really is it's just a difference between it's literally, as you might recognize this, right? C, I, and G, and it's missing. All it is it's really just missing it's missing a plus, plus net exports, right? Which would sort of go here, right? NX. But it doesn't need that, right? All because this is a closed economy as we're defining it. Okay, so this is our planned expenditure function. And there's some other useful kind of there are a few other useful sort of things in here to note. We are kindly sort of, understanding that the consumption makes up roughly 63%. Now, this is for UK, okay? So this isn't the same for all countries, but in a developed country, we see something like 60% of, aggregate demand, planned expenditure, planned output, planned expenditure is 60%. And then it's roughly, it's roughly 20% for investment and 20% for government expenditure. Obviously, it's 1719, but we can just call it 20 and 20. So all of these functions are functions of other variables, though, and that's another thing to sort of bear in mind here.